Ladies and gentlemen, we will start to the first session of the conference. We are a little in delay. And the topic of the first session is setting the scene, paradigm shift in mountain tourism, differences between the European and Asian mountain tourism. The question is if the ski industry, with its many different players, is converging worldwide on the basis of the successful alpine business model, which was developed in the traditional mountain countries, or if new businesses model are coming up in the emerging mountain tourism countries. The question is relevant since the ski industry is nowadays a major sector in the developed countries, marked by concentration and consolidation processes. The traditional ski snow tourism hopes that with the enlargement of the market, we will have more mountain likers. They dream that the new ski sports communities in Asia will then, for instance, come to ski to Europe. Well, this is what we want to deal during this session, and I have a team where we have 3 Europeans, myself included, and 3 people from Asia. One is not yet here, but he will come. And the first speaker is Laurent Vanat, a compatriot of mine, a Swiss. He is the statistician of the worldwide ski industry. He does the statistics of the ski industry since years. He is an independent innovator. He does that alone. The state doesn't give him any money. This is an important effort, and his figures are recognized worldwide. And he is not only an expert in statistics, he is also a man who puts the right questions and gives always innovative answers. That's why I have the pleasure now to give him the floor to Laurent Vanat.
Thank you very much, Peter. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to introduce this first session with some statistics about the ski industry that will give an idea about this matter of paradigm shift, the difference between Asia and Europe. And I need first to give you some explanation why I am concentrating on ski resort, on ski business, when we are speaking about mountain resorts. In fact, there are 2 basic reasons. Statistics in the mountain industry are rare, and the only one that we have, and it's already not very obvious, are the skier visits in the winter, because the skiers need to pay, and there are access system, access control, and we know how many skiers are skiing in a resort normally. But otherwise, it's very difficult to measure the number of people attending in a mountain resort. Even in the Alps, in Switzerland, we have trouble to know in winter at one given day how many people are in a ski resort, except in accounting the people that are skiing and that purchase the ski pass and go through the gates at the ski lifts. And they tried various measurement tools to define how many people are staying in the resorts, that are going up to such extremes, are measuring the weight of the garbage or measuring the density of human dejection in the wastewater and so on. But we have difficulties to account for the tourists in the mountains. So that's the basic reason why if we want to have a picture worldwide about the attendance at ski resorts, we need to find a measurement tool, and that measurement tool is this skier visits, so the visitors on the ski slopes. And the second reason for which I think this measurement tool is relevant is that for the time being at least, even in the Alps, winter tourism and the ski is representing more than 80% of the activity in the mountain resorts. That means that summer activity or four-season activity are only representing 20%. And in fact, and as you will see and I will mention later on, normally a good mountain resort should be four-season, but this 20% activity out of winter just show you the difficulty alpine resorts in the Alps have to really turn into a four-season activity. So that's just an introduction to justify why I'm speaking about skier visits. So we will first see some statistics worldwide, then have a focus on the Asian market and look at very quickly at some hot topics regarding this paradigm shift that will only introduce the further speakers. And you've all maybe already noticed that there is a paradigm shift in my illustration of the slides. Here you've got on this slide an idea of a ski slope in Korea, and on the margin of the other slides you've got an idea of the typical image of a ski resort in Switzerland with the mountain. So it gives already a small idea about the difference. You have received on your table normally a leaflet that gives you some indication where you can find more statistical information. I will be rather short this afternoon, so I cannot give you all data about the market, but you can find this further data in my report that you can freely download from the internet. So who are the skiers? The spread over the various countries is shown on the chart here, and you see that there are about 120 million skiers worldwide. So that means that's less than 2% of the world population that is skiing. And on this pie chart you see that if you add the Alps, Western Europe and the part of Eastern Europe that's included with Central Asia, we've got nearly half of the activity, half of the skiers that are located in Europe. If we look at the place where the skiers are skiing, and these are the skier visits figures, there are about worldwide 400 million skier visits every year. You see that the part of Europe, if you add Alps, Western Europe, and one part of Eastern Europe and Central Asia, is even over 50%. So that means that the majority of the ski worldwide, for the time being, is still consumed in Europe and for a large part in the Alps. So, but we will see later on the evolution. The top 20 market, as far as average skier visits are mentioned, are shown on the chart that you have here. You see that there are only a few really big markets that makes 50 million skier visits a year or more. That's only United States, France, and Austria. France and United States are competing to be the first one. On average, it's still United States that's the first one, but last season it was France. And in red on the chart, you see the 3 Asian countries that have noticeable attendance in the ski resort, that are Japan, China, and South Korea. These are the major 3 Asian resorts that are playing on the market. We will see later on some smaller resorts in some smaller market in Asia. One point that is very important is to understand that the skiers' international flow is something rather limited. There are only 12% of the worldwide skiers that go from one country to the other to ski. Otherwise, it's mostly a domestic market. And the arrows on this big world map show you where are these movements from one country to the other. It's mostly concentrated in Europe. It's the non-alpine countries of Europe going to ski in the alpine countries of Europe. Otherwise, for instance, transatlantic flights of skiers. They exist, but it's really a minority. The same as for skiers from, for instance, Australia or New Zealand coming skiing in Asia, in Japan, for instance. There are some, but it's not the big amount are not here. You see on this chart the top 10 inbound market, and even if I mention top 10, there are only 4 that are noticeable, I would say. It's Austria, because there are big inbound market with the German coming in Austria to ski. Then France, mostly with the English people, Italy and Switzerland. And that's it for the big inbound markets. Then we are in small figures that are much less than 500,000 skiers coming into the country. And if we have a quick look at the 10 outbound market, here also the story is very short. The biggest outbound market is Germany. These German people driving to the neighboring country Austria to ski there. There are the English people that take the plane to ski in different places in Europe, and so they are more flexible because once they can go in Andorra, the other holiday they go in France, and then they go to Austria, for instance. And we've got the Netherlands in Europe that is also a big supplier of skiers. It's a flat country, they have no mountains and no possibility to ski there except in ski domes. And then what's interesting in this chart is that you've got countries like Switzerland, France and Italy that are normally countries where people go to ski, but as in this country there is a ski culture, the people from this country are also going abroad to ski. And that's something important to point out, is because it is a country where there is a ski culture. And on this chart you see the proportion of national skiers and foreign skiers. And in fact, in most of the countries, so the major part of the skiers are domestic skiers. There is only Andorra, because it's a very small country that has nearly 100% of foreign skiers. Then Austria, because all of this German, and then Norway and Switzerland, and that's all. In all the other countries, the big majority of the skiers are nationals. And this will also be true in emerging markets in Central Asia, for instance. And that's important to stress. And in one way, it's a good news, because the domestic markets are huge. On this chart, you see on green the part of the population that is non-skiers on a big market like the United States, Russia, Japan, and so on. So most of the population in most of the country is, for the time being, non-skier, so there is a huge market potential to penetrate this reserve. A second very important truth about the ski market is the evolution over the last 12 or 15 years. And you see it on the charts here. It's really flat. This is only taken from the countries where there is a yearly collection of statistics about attendance at ski resorts. But you see that really it's something flat in most of the major markets. And it's very interesting to see that in the winter season 12-13, there has been what I call a general inflection point. And in all the major markets, you see it has been going down, except in Asia Pacific. And I think that's one point that supports this issue of paradigm change. Why this? In most of the major markets, the population is aging, and there is a stagnation in the number of skiers and even a decline, because the baby boomers, who are the biggest skiing population, are partly retiring. And ski is competing with a lot of other activities. There are few innovation, and a lot of resorts are still weak at developing the loyalty of the clients over 4 season activities. And I would also say that in some places we have weaknesses in marketing. And then in Asia, it's developing or redeveloping, because Japan is a special case, and you will hear more about this later on with my fellow speaker. But we have young generation there. The sport is becoming fashionable, especially also in Korea and China because of the future venue of the Winter Olympics. And as I say, Japan is in a recovering phase. So some more facts about the Asian market. So you see that there has been, for a long time, a decline in the attendance, and now it's increasing again. Why this? You will understand this from this chart. The chart shows the 5 years average attendance of these three major countries, and you see that Japan has been going down for a long time, and now it's stabilized and recovers partly. China has been, it's not skyrocketing, but really starting a huge, tremendous growth. And unfortunately, South Korea has been, after an increase, now stagnating and even declining. You will learn more about why this in the later presentation. So I don't want to go into more detail, but just that you've got the picture of the evolution of the attendance at ski resorts in Asia. So you see that I already show you Japan, China, and South Korea as far as skier visits are concerned. And you see that other countries in Asia where you can ski, they are mentioned here on the chart, but you don't see nearly anything on the chart because the attendance is so low. It's starting with Kazakhstan, India, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Mongolia, North Korea, Tajikistan. There are ski resorts, at least one or two in each of these countries, but for the time being there is a really low attendance. And if we look at the number of national skiers, again, there is only three major markets with various participation rates. For instance, China is a big market, of course, but for the time being, the participation rate, that's the blue line on the chart, is still very low. So if the participation rate is growing in China, it gives an idea about the number of potential skiers you can have. And then in Asia, you have also some countries where there is no possibility to ski except in ski domes, like Taiwan, Philippines, that are provider of skiers, but it's really small figures. The national infrastructure, again, we are about to the same pattern, but Kazakhstan is coming on third position because they have a little bit more ski resort than South Korea, but of course they are smaller because the number of lifts is smaller in Kazakhstan. And again, the other Asian country where it's possible to ski are really very, very small market for the time being. And if we benchmark Asia with Europe, you see that in Europe we've got 9% of worldwide population. In Asia, you've got 56% of the worldwide population. These are the blue bars on the chart. And now I need to change the scale of the chart so you can see something a little bit more clear. In Europe, we've got 50% of the skiers and 56% of skiers visits. In Asia, it's only 17 and 13%. And you see the yellow and white bar on the chart. So as far as the number of skiers and the skier visits are concerned, Europe is still a much bigger market, but the population is much bigger in Asia. So the market potential is much bigger. For the time being, the penetration rate, the practice rate, is very low in Asia. You've got 0.6% of the population that practice ski. So the ski culture is nearly non-existent. And by the way, in some of the Asian countries, part of the population is still out of reach of the ski industry, of course. In Europe, the penetration rate of the ski is not 50%. It's also rather low comparing with some cliché, it's only 11%. And the consumption per skier is also lower in Asia. For one skier in Asia, we've got only 2.4 skier visits, when in Europe we've got 3.7. That means that the pattern of the ski consumption in Asia is a little bit different than in most of the European countries. It's rather perceived as a leisure activity than a sport where you go for 1 week and so on. There is not this culture of ski holidays. So very quickly, I will go through 5 ideas about the difference between Asia and Europe. There is differences in the business model of the resort operation. In Europe, it's mostly fragmented, when in Asia, in a lot of countries, maybe except Japan, it's an integrated business model, and it started from scratch, when in Europe it started with a lot of actors in the mountain village. The catchment area are also mostly different, because in Asia you've got very big cities next to ski resorts, but that promotes the skiers just going there for 1 evening to ski and come back home. In Europe it's rather a destination resort where people are going to spend 1 week or so. The mega events, that's also a switch, because up to now the Winter Olympics were held in Europe, America or Japan, and the next one will be in Asia with Korea and China. So I think this will also increase the awareness of the ski in the population. The innovation and diversification. In Europe, in fact, the mountain resorts started mostly focused on summer activities, then they shifted on winter, and now they notice that they need to go back a little bit on the summer activities. And in Asia, when we look at development of new resorts, it's no longer viable to build a ski resort and just operating it for 3 or 4 months in the winter. You need to make a 4-season resort to be economically viable. So these are differences in the business model. And the last idea that I wanted to raise is the matter of sustainability, accessibility. Of course, in Europe, we have got some resorts that are connected with public transportation to the train, and the train to the cable car and so on. And when you do it right at the beginning, okay, it's good. If you did not start right and you can only access a resort that is remote by car and so on, it's then difficult to correct. So this will be the last idea, is that in Asia, with the new developing resorts, you've got the chance to do it right on the first time. And that will be I will not make a conclusion now, because you've got to listen to the other speakers before we can conclude on the topic. But the new resorts in Asia have the chance to do it right on the first time. Thank you very much.
Well, I don't believe in your last principle, that those who start do better than their forerunners, but otherwise we would have less divorces, you know. Well, if it is a shift in the long run, Laurent, I'm convinced that people like customized services, not standardized one. But it's good that Asia, which is in the takeoff, has now advantages. With the time, developments will converge between Asia will catch up and then converge with the development we have in Europe. I think maybe we have time to discuss, but now I have the pleasure to give the floor to Mr. Tatsumi Injomoto. He's the president and CEO of Mac Earth company in Japan. He does a very difficult job. He's rejuvenating the ski industry, which lost in Japan almost 1/3 of its market. Well, he's an expert in rejuvenating resorts, Japanese resorts. He takes them over and he's re-engineering them. He does re-engineering. So I'm very much interested because as an industrial economist, normally when you take together a lot of weaker ones, the result is not a good one, but with him the results are good. So I'm really curious what he will tell us.
Hello everybody. ここから日本語で失礼します。日本のマックアースでございます。一野本です。よろしくお願いいたします。こうパワーポイントを送ってもらっていいですか？これで送れるのかな。OK。はい。我々のグループの主な数字を言わせていただくと、OK。スキー場の数は今34カ所やっております。で、昨年のシーズンの入り込みは294万人ということで、それこそラプラーニュさんの入り込みが290万ぐらいですから、34個の数を合わせて、世界一の入り込みのスキー場と同じぐらいということでやっています。夏の方も夏のスキー場の夏事業というのも結構やってまして、この写真にもありますように、これはリリーパークをスキー場でやってます。成功しているところはだいたい冬の全体の1年間の売上のうち 40% ぐらいが夏の事業の売上ということでできているところもあります。あと冬期間雪でクローズになってしまうゴルフ場を併設してそのオペレーションをしながらやっていたりとか、あとホテルを同時にスキー場と一緒にやってオペレーションしていると。あと日本独特だと思うんですけども、小学校とか中学校とか高等学校とかで学校単位で山に来て2泊3日とか3日間4日間っていうのを滞在をしてさまざまな野外教育アウトドアエデュケーションをやっているという実態があります。そういった学校団体をそのスキー場の場所でたくさんお受けをして、今グループで1000校受けてますけども、そういうので夏の授業を確立しております。はい。我々のグループは、1961年に最初はスキー場の中の食堂からスタートいたしました。その後スキー場の本当に日本のスキー場の初期の時代ですねに山小屋をやって、そこで学校団体の受け入れを始めた宿泊施設を徐々に拡大をしていき、2008年からもうこの頃が本当にスキー場がもうダメだねっていうので、日本のスキー場どんどんなくなるんじゃないかって言われてた時代です。2008年からスキー場の再生に参入をいたしまして、その後数が増えて今2012年にはゴルフ場のオペレーションにも入りで、34の数になったということでございます。はい。日本のスキー場の特徴ということで言いますと、まず、北海道ダメなんですけども、北海道じゃない、沖縄はダメなんですけど、沖縄以外の日本のどこに住んでいても車で3時間以内にスキー場で見つけちゃうというところが一つの特徴だというふうに思ってます。こんな国っていうのは多分本当にリヒテンシュタインとかアンドラとか、あともうスイスと日本ぐらいしかないのかなっていうふうに思ってて、それが一つの特徴であるということと、冬の間ずっと季節風が吹いてますし、で日本海があるので12月から3月までずっと雪が降り続ける国っていうところでいうと、これも日本の特徴だろうというふうに思っています。でスキー場と町が、先ほどお話にもあったように、非常に近いというところ、町の中にスキー場があるというところもあります。はい。でそういったこともあって、お客様はほとんど日帰りで来られます。 ワンデートリップが 87%。よくスキー場の話をヨーロッパとかですると、そこのスキー場ベッド数いくつですかなんていう話をよく、やりますけれども、日本のスキー場はベッド数じゃなくて駐車台数で売り上げが決まります。たくさん車を置けるようにしておくと売り上げが立つ。でもベッドはいらないっていうところがほとんどです。そうは言っても北海道のいくつかのリゾートとか、あと越後湯沢、長野の白馬とか滋賀とか、我々のグループのマダラオとか、そういうところは宿泊型のリゾートとしてありますけれども、全体の日本のスキー場の数から言うといいとこ 5% ぐらいがそういった宿泊型のものであって、あとはもうワンデートリップ用のスキー場ということになります。またこれ日本の変わったところでしてですね、スキーヤーが若者は特に少ないんですね。若い子たちはスノーボードしかやらないっていうとても恐ろしいことが起こっております。19歳無料という企画をリクルートさんという会社を中心にしていくつかのスキー場がそれに賛同してやってるんですが、今500ちょっとある日本のスキー場の中で180ぐらいのスキー場がこれに参画をしていて、19歳をタダにして若年層のウィンタースポーツ離れを少しでもとどめようということで、スキー場のリフト代をタダにしております。その19歳の参加者の中のデータを取ってみると、なんとスキーヤーが 7%、スノーボーダーが 93% という19歳人口ではほとんどスキーヤーがいないという状況になっています。スノーボーダーがほとんどと。これオリンピックでもメダルを取らせていただきましたが、日本はそういったところでいうとスノーボードしか取れてないというね、ところがあるのかなというふうに思います。この特徴的なところはどこから出てきているかっていうと、一つは日本のスキー場はその多くがサイズがちっちゃいということですね。なので一日スキー場に行っても同じところをぐるぐるループしなきゃならないっていう、そうなると山から山へずっと行けるヨーロッパのスキー場とかと違って、同じところくるくる滑ってたら飽きますよね。そこでパークを作ったりさまざまなアクティビティを作って、その中でスノーボードで飛んだり跳ねたりっていうところの方が受けたということが一つあるんではないかなというところも、スキー場の特性がスノーボードブームを招いているというところもあるのかなというふうに私は勝手な理解をしております。はい、これ資料をいただきましたがありがとうございます。日本だけがね、このように減っているということでございますけど、ただ一頃の日本のスキーブームというのは本当異常でして、94年ぐらいが大体ピークだったと思うんですけれども、95年に神戸で大震災がありまして、そこからちょっとどんと落ちて以降徐々に減ってきたなというふうに思ってるんですが、ただ日本のスキーブームの異常さはどれぐらいだったかっていうとですね、100キロぐらい高速道路渋滞しますよと、5000万人シーズン来るお客様がほぼ8割9割日帰りで行っちゃうわけじゃないですか。道路なんかもうずっと混んじゃうわけですよ。週末なんか特に土曜日日曜日なんかはもう渋滞してて、家を出てからもうスキー場着くまでずっと渋滞みたいな話が正直ありました。でスキー場に行っちゃうと行っちゃったで、今度1時間ぐらいリフト待ちがあるのが普通というような事態がありました。でスキーも非常にみんな買う民族でして、その当時は、300万台スキー日本で売れてたっていうのが90年代当初の日本のあれです。世界で多分500万台ぐらいスキー作ってたと思うんですけど、そのうち300万台日本人が買ってた時代がありました。でもう人口10万人ぐらいの町にはこれぐらいの広さのスキーショップが必ずあった時代もありました。なのでどこにいてもスキー買えたし、買っちゃうし、買っちゃったから行っちゃうしみたいな、そういう時代があったんですけど、それ本当に異常だったなというふうに思います。今落ちてきてますけど、まだまだ世界的に見ると4番の入り込みですので、そうは言ってもまだ大丈夫なのかなというふうに思ってます。で我々のマッカースのビジネスモデルを言わせていただくと、 まずスキー場を、グループ化をしていきます。でグループにすることで、もうちっちゃいスキー場も中にはありますので、もう本当にほとんどのことをアウトソースしてやらないとできないっていう高コストオペレーションになっているスキー場が多くあります。これらをグループにすることで、内製化の部分を増やしてオペレーションコストを下げる。で、あとマーケティングのやり方をしっかりと変えていって、売り上げを伸ばすということをやっていきます。今34のスキー場をオペレーションしてますけど、うち20が 130% 以上の伸びになりました。その中で、6つは我々が取得したときに比べて 200% 以上の売り上げを立てています。はい。あと地方自治体とのコラボレーションというのもやっておりまして、地方自治体が持っているスキー場の運営だけをお受けするというのも全国で8カ所やっておりますし、まだ地方自治体と株式をシェアホルダーをした会社を子会社にしていて、オペレーションをしているというスキー場も2カ所あります。はい。どんなスキー場を買ってるんだいっていう話なんですけれども、それで言うと、まずそのスキー場が地域にとって必要なのかというところです。大きな雇用を抱えていて、このスキー場をなくしたらその地方が、その地域が滅びるよねというところは積極的にやっております。あとスキーの文化にとって必要なのかというところで言うと、今年17年ぶりに長野オリンピック以来、次の冬ですけれども、ダウンヒルのコンチネンタルカップ、ファーストカップを我々のオペレーションしている御嶽2240で開催をいたします。あとキャッシュフローを生むようなバリューアップができるかというところ、そこのあたりを注意をして、やっております。でスキー場がそれぞれちっちゃいもんですから、ファミリーユースとかフリースタイルとか、レースセンターを作ったりとか、それぞれセグメントに特化をしてやる。先ほどの話もありましたオールナイトで土曜日だけやっているスキー場というのがグループで3つあります。24時間営業というのをやっているスキー場もあります。5時から23時までエブリデイっていうのもやってます。それはスキー場全部じゃないです。その地域とかに合わせてそういうものをやっているというところでございます。日本のスキー場はですね、非常に苦しい局面にはありますけれども、やり方をしっかりとやっていくと、一頃のブームが異常すぎて、あまりマーケティング力もつけないままスキー場が勝手に流行っちゃった時代があったので、そこからも非常に落ちちゃった。でも商いとして、しっかりとしたビジネスとして中身をやり直していくと、まだまだ伸びしろはあるというふうに思ってまして、これをやっていきたいなというふうに思ってます。スキー場が密集しているエリアがたくさんありますので、どこかの町に泊まったり、例えば日本で言えば高山とかですね、あと長野か新潟の温泉地に泊まって、もう本当30分以内で行けるスキー場が20個ありますよみたいな、そんなエリアもいっぱいありますので、そういった長期滞在のスキーの形というのも今後は提案していけるのかな。我々マックアースもいよいよですね、スキー場に再投資をする局面を迎えています。その部分においては特に一緒に座っていただいているCDA の皆さんにさまざま今指導を受けているところです。投資資本も入れていただいてますので、私は勝手にフランスの兄貴だと思ってるんですけれども、そういったところでさまざま指導を受けながら、日本のマウンテンリゾートをますます盛り上げるよう、今後も努力していきますので、どうかよろしくお願い申し上げます。以上です。ありがとうございました。
Mr. Ginomoto. It's a very interesting thing. You do, in fact, you do a vertical integration by acquisition. And how are you financed? I mean, you have 34 resorts. You are the owner. You have an ownership, probably a majority.
はい、基本的にはファイナンスでやっております。銀行融資で。あとどうしても赤字がひどすぎるスキー場、全部じゃないですよ。買った中には非常にキャッシュフローを生んでたものもございますけれども、中には現状 とね赤字っていうところはそんなに資金調達をしなくても譲渡をしたところもあります。譲渡を受けたところもあります。ただそこからバリューアップをすることで先ほど言った売上 200% とかっていうことでキャッシュ売る状態に変えていったということはありますけど、取得するのにお金のかかってないスキー場もいくつもあります。よろしいでしょうか。
Thank you very much. You do an amazing job, and I wish you good luck also for the future. We have now the next speaker. That's Mr. Benny Wu. Is the Beauty General Manager, Gold Eyes and Snow, Gold Eyes and Snow, Department of the Wanda Cultural Industry Group, Beijing, China. He's a leading young developer and manager of ski resorts. He will give us his views on the actual situation on the Chinese ski market, and that only a few months after Beijing won the bid for organizing the Olympic Winter Games 2018. Benny, I give you the floor.
Speech time is 12 minutes.
10 minutes.
12.
12
Yeah,
minutes.
so please take the time.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon. I'm honored to be invited to participate in this conference. It's a good opportunity to share some information of China's ski industry to all of you. And China is definitely a new market in terms of slow sport. And it's also a good opportunity to learn more from the developed country like Europe and Japan, Korea. So thank you very much. My presentation will separate it to three parts. The main figures, the main characteristics, and the ski business of Wanda Group. So let's start from the figures. As you may see from Mr. Laurent Valent's speech, I also have some China ski market figures. The study of this chart is based on the 15 years experience in the ski industry, because the figures from the CSA is almost bigger than my study. So till now, we have already 568 ski resorts in China. But what means the ski resort is a different concept than the ski resort, than the ski resorts calculated as the other country. The skier visits now is already over 12 million. We can figure out the the numbers later. So you may have some doubt about the big figures. With these figures, we see China is already a big market now. Where is the resource? So this is the distribution of the number of ski resorts in China. Based on the 7 major geographic area, the top one is the northeast of China. The number is 188 ski resorts located. The percentage is around 33. More details based on the province. So we can see in Heilongjiang, we got 120. The other big one is Xinjiang province, northwest of China. And the third one, it's a surprise, it's east of China. The Shandong province, we get 51 ski resorts. Then we can compare to the 4 years. The big development of the ski resort is Shandong province, Shanxi province, Shanxi province, and also Jilin province during these years. Here is a special chart I'd like to share with you. Is the figures about the Magic Carpet. We all know the China market is a beginner market. So my point of view, the figures of the new Magic Carpet is the most important for us to learn about the China ski market. We can see there will be more than 100 new carpet market will be operated in this year, in this coming winter. 99% of the ski visit beginners crowded on the Magic Carpet area. If you see the picture with the ski resort. So, what is the realistic? 568 ski resorts already exist, but only 16 of them got vertical drop over 300 meters. And we only have 320 grooming machines all over China. It's around 350 lifts around China, including 20 detachable lifts. So many ski resorts in China, there's even no one grooming machine, even no one lift, but we call it a ski resort because they have many people ski there. Regarding the Magic Carpet, we already around 600 Magic Carpets in China. So even some of the ski resorts even no Magic Carpet. I do a forecast for the future of China ski market. Thanks for the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympic Games. It is forecast to we will get about 1,100 ski resorts in 2022. And the skier visits, fortunately, were close to 40 million. Time is tight, I will go faster. The second part is the main characteristics of China ski industry. I would like to share some typical samples. At this moment, in my point of view, we divide the ski resorts of China ski resorts to 4 categories. But now, we value in the future there will be 2: day trip and vacation resort. But now, why I divide it this way, we can show the pictures. The first one is without the lift, almost flat area. The people crowded there, and they just dress the skis and walk on the skis. Then that's all. Left, never come back. Yeah, this is the reality. The first category. But we also get a very good resort, day trip ski resort like Nanshan. Nanshan is a small mountain, but they are full of different slopes for training and for fun. So last season they get more than 200,000 ski visits. 99% is day trip visit. They also held the international game like Lanshan Open. And also the fashion show on site. Now they start to do something for kids on site. The third part is the resort for competition. Why we call this one? Because when they do the master plan at the beginning, they just thinking about the competition. So they choose the slope very deep. They have low space to develop the beginner area, like Yabuli, like Beidahu, like Wanlong. It's most of the slopes is too steep for the beginners. Now they want to change to the vacation resort, but they face some problem. They have to redo the master plan. The first one is vacation resort. So Wanda Chanbaisan is a typical samples. This is the concept master plan. From the beginning, we already designed not only ski resort, but also hotels, golf course, hot spring, commercial town, and many other entertainment facilities. Is the basic information. We located 15 kilometers from Chanbaisan Airport. The vertical drop is more than 300 meters. We get 2 gondola and 4 chair lifts, and 12 magic carpets. The total length of slope is 30 kilometers. We have 9 hotels from Park Hyatt, Westin, Sheraton, and other. And we got 12 restaurants. Show some picture. Okay. So, what is the main characteristics of China's ski industry? Let's see. We have a huge market, a huge number of people. But 90% is now is beginner, it's adult, it's a one-time experience guests, and 99% is domestic guests. The second one is most of the ski resort is weak foundation and poor facilities, because the threshold is too low for operating a ski resort in China. The third part is a problem of our ski industry. It's a lack of human resource and system. We are lack of management, lack of technician, and lack of a good ski instructor. Seasonal problem, easy way. Most of the ski resorts have low summer activity. Our business model is quite similar to South Korea, because most of the investors learn from Korea since the beginning. And now, huge money influx due to Beijing 2022 into the China ski industry now. So there's another 2 points I would to add to the characteristics is one is the international plus. So because China is a huge market and a beginner market, I would like to say international plus will help China a lot. The European people and the North American people and the New Zealand people, Japan and South Korea, they always the teacher of China. So many people come to China, but in the past 15 years, we only developed the hard part. Now I think it's the time to develop the soft part. So we have to learn the know-how, how to management the ski resort, how to build up the ski industry now. The other one is Internet Plus. So Internet changed the world a lot. I think it's will change the world more and more. In China, especially, the Internet Plus is already a national strategy from the government. So I just list some APP and internet company who are focused on developing the ski business in China now. We can see the 2 plus will bring a bright future of China's ski industry. At the end is the business of Wanda Group. Let's back to the map of China. We already set up 5 projects in China related to ski business. One is the Harbin, north of China. We built up a ski dome in Harbin. So the major steel structure is already done. The other one is east of China, Wuxi, south of China, Guangzhou, west of China, it's Chengdu, and with Wanda Chanbaisan is northeast of China in Jilin province. With Chanbaisan is some figures related to the operation. The ski ice, we got 240,000 last season, ski ice. We have 275 ski instructors last season, and the revenue of ski school is 23 million. Sorry, it's a mistake. 23 million of ski school revenue. And the skiers from south of China, the percentage is 65% plus. The average stay is 2.4 nights. And also some figures about our ski dome. Our Harbin ski dome is 80,000 square meters. It's almost like 3 ski Dubai. The longest slopes will be 520 meters. The Wuxi one is 17.5 thousand square meters. Guangzhou one and Wuxi and Chengdu is 75,000 square meters. The opening date already set up. Harbin is 2017. Wuxi and Guangzhou is 2008. And Chengdu will be 2019. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Benny. So if I understand, actually, China is a country of beginners. This gives hope. That means that as a beginner, sooner or later, you become an experienced practitioner, ski practitioner. How many years do you think will this process last? Only this question.
It depends.
Pardon?
It depends.
It depends. This
Because
is no answer.
the most problem for us is how to transfer the beginners to be skiers.
Aha, okay.
Because most of the beginners are one-time experience beginner. So they never come back. This is the problem. So we have to fight for it. We try to transfer the beginners to be skiers.
Thank you very much. Well, I put short questions. We are in delay, but I think it was very interesting. We have a super panel of young people. You see, this is fantastic. And against a young personality, Monsieur Jean-Marc Farini is project director Russia-Asia of the Compagnie des Alpes. His company is an agency of the leading public bank of France, which gives loans and lives from the savings of the French population. But this bank has the objective to help the small companies in France, and this company bought ski resorts. But this is only one thing. What they do essentially is they are very well known as innovative leaders, which are famous for optimizing, for instance, the management of ski resorts. They optimize the tariff structures, they bring surpluses to consumers, and I think these are the champions of effectiveness and efficiency. So this is, I give you the floor. Jean-Marc Farini.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for introduction, Mr. Professor Keller. Small introduction to Compagnie des Alpes. First, I mean, as explained just before, Compagnie des Alpes is now the world leader in management and operation of ski resort, especially in France, where we manage 11 very well-known ski resorts that welcome every year close to 23 million skiers. The group is made of 5,000 experts, and it is also a listed company. It means that our business must be sustainable and profitable, which is the case of all the ski resorts we operate in France, and which is also one of our main goals when we assist our clients worldwide. In France, you probably know the ski resort we operate. It is part of the most prestigious ones, such as Espace-Skili and Paradis Ski with Val d'Isère, Tignes, and Les Trois-Vallées with Méribel, Les Menuires, and we are also present in Chamonix, for instance. As it was shown before by Laurent Vanat, and as you know it, in the Western countries, ski is a fragmented business model. It means there is a lot of stakeholders, and actually Compagnie des Alpes is one of these major stakeholders, but especially focused on mountain operation. It means we are not in charge at all about accommodation or transportation or public administration. Our core competency is really focused on the ski lift, the piste preparation, the cash desk, and the marketing of the mountain itself. Of course, with our partner, we are also competent regarding ski school, F&B outlets, and ski shop. We have also recently established our own tour operating structures, as it was said before also, the marketing is extremely important in this context of mature market. So CDA now operates more than 500 lifts, more than 130 grooming machines, for instance, more than 3,500 snow guns from all manufacturers. So we do operate, and when we advise our customer worldwide, we do it with the eyes of an independent operator advising for the best solution for each particular cases. So, as I mentioned, Compagnie des Alpes is basically focused on the French market, but for 5 years now, we decided to go abroad, and it is now something vital for us to leave our footprint abroad. Why is it so critical? Because first of all, compared to other French ski resorts, I mean, Compagnie des Alpes resorts are really exposed to international guests. I mean, the vast majority of our guests in Val d'Isère, in Tignes, in Flaine, in Chamonix are composed of international guests. So that's why we need to secure this catchment market, and we need to understand what are the new expectations of emerging countries and the new skiers arriving on the ski market. So the best way to do it is to be present directly in Russia, in China, in South Korea, in Japan, what we are actually doing today. Another goal, another mission we have somehow as a world leader is to address what is probably now the most critical stake for the whole ski industry. It means to turn beginners and children into loyal customers, into loyal skiers, what was mentioned just before by Benny Wu. It is something really critical. So our goal when we assist our client in South Korea, in Japan with markers, and or in China, is to make sure that these beginners, these children will find the best snow condition to learn skiing, and that they will become a loyal customer in the futures. Good condition means safety of piste and infrastructures. It means proven methodics and behavior of ski instructors. So all these children can find fun and are really attracted by this new activity. And also to implement innovative offers and also no ski activities. That's something basic, but it has to be done in an excellent way. So we are sure that all these new skiers will not abandon this activity as soon as they will try it for the first time. So Compagnie des Alpes is going abroad now for 5 years, and we especially started with a kind of iconic project, which was Rosa-Couture, where I was personally involved for 5 years since 2010, and it will be, I would like to share this experience with you, because somehow the Russian market is a very good linking point between Europe and Asian market, sharing characteristics of both. So it can also be a good example of what should be done right at the very first time, which was one of the conclusions of Laurent Vanna before, and maybe Rosa Couture can somehow illustrate what could be done in Asia now and in the futures. Just to finalize on Compagnie des Alpes, so we are now a pool of 3,000 ski experts and available to assist our guests in the emerging countries. And I would like to insist on that one. What is now requested, the main demand of our guests is to train the staff, is to have skilled people at the different position of a ski area. And Compagnie des Alpes now, thanks to his vast experience as know-how, is able to bring in a very pragmatic way this experience, this know-how into China, South Korea, and Indian or other Asian countries. So that's what we are doing now, and we are very proud of that and assisting in this. I will switch directly to the Russian market. So as I told you, Compagnie des Alpes was involved for more than 4 years actually at Rosa Couture, which is one of the 4 ski resorts in the region of Krasnaya Poliana, Sochi. The ski resort was built from scratch and welcomed in 2014 30 disciplines of the Sochi Olympic Games. The will of the owner, the group Interos, was to make Rosa Couture a nationally acclaimed ski resort, a performing ski resort, able to boast international standards in terms of operation and infrastructures. So that's basically what we did. For those who was asking, yes, Rosa Couture now is probably a bit specific compared to the other Olympic object of the Sochi region, but at least Rosa Couture itself is a very successful new destination now in Russia, welcoming more than 700,000 day skiers in the winter. And what is even more noticeable is the attendance during summer, which is already now above 500,000 visitors every summer, which is a real characteristics of Russian and Asian markets. So somehow Rosa Couture did it rather right. Not everything was perfect, but some basics have been fulfilled, and I would like to discuss that with you. First of all, Rosa Couture and the Sochi region really benefit for a favorable context. First point is that clearly Russia shares with other Western European countries is a true culture of skiing and snow, which is not the case in Asia, but which is the case in Russia. Russian people practice ski, if not alpine skiing, at least Nordic skiing activities, and they are accustomed to snow and going on holidays in the mountain. One other point is that somehow the ski practice fits very well to the Russian mentality of vibrant and rather a tough outdoor experience, and ski infrastructures really fulfill this request. After, it is obvious that the success of the Sochi Olympic Games really boosted the whole region and really increased the credibility of the Sochi region, which was poorly rated before, and now we can see a dramatic change in the perception of the Russian regarding this Sochi region and the capacity also of Russian operator to offer something decent and something up to international standard. That's something extremely new in Russia. And Rosa Couture was built from scratch, following a few key principles which turned out to be rather positive for the business. Two things are really obvious there. First of all, Rosa Couture just refused a certain kind of standardization of piste. Rosa Couture can boast a really nice vertical drop, more than 1,500 meters, great powder snow, such as Japan, for instance, and somehow freeride is tolerated in Russia and even encouraged. And the Russian guy and CDA just kept the natural terrain as much as possible as it was. So we really fulfilled the expectation of all this young generation of skier, but I should say snowboarder, because more than 50% of visitors in the wintertime in Russia are actually snowboarders. So we just offer them the product they were expected, and not exactly standardized piste as we can too often see sometimes in the western ski resorts. In the same time, the prestige aspect is really present in Russia. Rosa Khutor was also a kind of political project, and boasting infrastructures made by international manufacturers, reputable companies, is something really important, showing that you can have something like 100 kilometers of piste, even if in detail it's a bit difficult to justify this figure. That's important in Russia, and we have also to assist this for that. Regarding expectation of Russian guests, they are very close to the Western standard. It means that basically snow condition of the piste, vicinity of the lift system, close to accommodation is something extremely important. And still you can see a reason for ski resort choosing. I mean, the criteria for choosing ski resort, I mean, variety of slopes and the space of the ski area always prevails when choosing the ski resort. So we have here graphics very close to the one we could have for Western countries. So it was a simple, but still it has to be tackled in a proper way. No ski activity in summer season is something too often neglected, and in Russia as in Asia, we are always, Western operators, somehow impressed by the traffic that can generate ski resorts in the summertime. And Rosa Khutor did not make this mistake, and at once we offered to develop in a consistent way no ski activities and summer activities in order to boost the traffic of pedestrians during the summertime. So it was actually my job after 1 year at Rosa Khutor. Beside to the ski resort and the piste master plan, we developed a fully consistent no ski activity and summer master plan. Taking the mountain as a rule and imagining what could be convenient, what could be innovative to imagine regarding the implementation of something like 30 no ski activities available both winter and summer, so that Rosa Khutor can be attractive for this huge market close to the city of Sochi, which is still the leading destination for summertime. One other point is, of course, to make the resort accessible and smart. It's easy to say like this, but if you take, for instance, accommodation, clearly Rosa Khutor focused just on 2-3-star accommodation or even less, focusing on the youngsters, on the Russian youngsters and on beginners. You can see, for instance, here a photo of the Riders Lodge. It is just an hotel converted from the Olympic Village and now perfectly suitable for young riders and extremely popular in Russia, very innovative, with some just comfortable rooms and very, very cheap and affordable accommodation for the bulk of the Russian market. And that's something really important, not to be lured by just 5-star hotel and very famous chain of hotel, but also think about who will be exactly the guest of the ski resort and who will visit the resort. After this, of course, the access is something really, really critical. And now Sochi, you can reach Sochi with 20 minutes by bullet train from the coast, from the seaside. So you have a very nice combination between mountain and seaside in this region, which make Rosa Khutor something quite unique, actually. Create emotion for all, based on what we can imagine, because we can be, Laurent, sometimes imaginative also in our old ski resort in France and in Europe. So here you have a picture, for instance, of the step in the void at the top of Aiguille du Midi. So we really think now about emotion. A ski operator now is not just a pure transportation company. It's first of all a company that can offer emotion at the different step of the client route, before going to ski, during skiing, and after his ski experience. As a conclusion for Russia, as I told you, for me it's a good linking point between Europe and Asia. Main guest expectations do not really differ from European skiers, but what really differ is the importance of snowboarders, more than 50%. It means you have to design specific pistes for this category of visitors. I mean, a ski resort, when you have 50% of snowboarders, is not designed the same way as a traditional ski resort. That's something clear. The ski market in Russia will continue its expansion. Now we have 3.5 million skiers, but it is expected to continue its growth by 10% per year, and especially fostered by new exciting projects beside Krasnaya Poliana and Rosa Khutor. Now very large projects such as Ariz, Elbrus are under development, and it will offer something really new also in the region. Ski resort in Sochi are now a perfect MICE destination with a lot of hotel, I would say even surplus of beds in the region now. And still the domestic market will remain dominant in the coming years because of the economic downturn now and the political crisis with Russia. It is clear that Russian tends to stay in their own country, and international skiers are a bit now reluctant to visit Russia. Also, it's a very good opportunity, I mean, for all of you in this room. It's the right moment to visit Russia now. I mean, the currency rate is extremely favorable. It's brand new infrastructure, and I can tell you that it's a really special taste skiing in this mountain that can also offer some excellent ski experience. I can tell you, I'm coming from Chamonix. I love big vertical drop and snow powders and something a bit thrilling and specific, and you can find the same in the Caucasus mountain. So that's something good. In Asia, I will not repeat everything. I mean, skiing is mostly perceived as a pure fun and leisure activity. So for the ski operators, it implies something very different. You have to be more innovative. You have to turn this day tripper into a real visitor that will adopt the ski culture and stay for several days, for 1 week in a ski resort. Example of Chinese ski resort here. So you have the big development project in Taiwu, which is supposed to be one of the largest Chinese ski resort in the coming years. And you have also project of Genting, Secret Garden, and Bedao in the northeast of China. And all these projects, of course, are funded by real large estate companies and built on a consolidated model, such as a recent project in Russia. In Japan, we are assisting our partner Makers in his quest for rejuvenating this Japanese market. So we are almost on a daily basis working with Mr. Ishinomoto on the different way to improve the guest experience, diversifying activity, optimizing infrastructures, increasing know-how. J'ai presque fini. Korea, we can skip this. I mean, you all know the specificities of this ski market. I was just last week in India, actually, in Gulmarg and Manali, and just to mention that we have not discussed about India now, but the mountain we see a very huge potential for skiing as well, and we will probably have to consider the ski market as well in the coming years, because there is also a population of 1.2 billion inhabitants, an emerging middle class eager to experience skiing activities and outdoor activities, and now the offer is almost equal to zero. Even if in Gulmarg and Manali you have quite a significant traffic, I would say, especially in the summer times. Basically, the ski pistes are rather poor and the offer is extremely limited. So I personally believe that there is huge opportunity for development in this Indian market in the coming years as well. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Professor Kohn, you can come. Just wait, it was a lot to discuss. I have just one small question. You come. The profit. What's the percentage of profit of the 9 resorts you run if you take the return, the percentage of net profit on the returns you have in one of your prestigious French resorts?
I will not mention the net profit, but if you take the percentage of EBITDA, for instance, we are much above the standards with, in average, in our resort, EBITDA a bit above 40%.
Okay, thank you very much. We are short in time. We are over time. We started with a delay. And nevertheless, we have now an outstanding speaker. Thank you very much, Jean-Marc. That was really good. But we are not a school. I don't give grades. Now, Professor Yu Hong Kwon, a colleague from the University of Hallym, that is a graduate school in Seoul, prepared.
중간중간 체크하면서 확인해 주시면 되겠습니다. 뭘 누르요 그럼? 어떤 누르는 건 없어요? 네, 시간만 체크해 주시면 돼요.
예, 한국 산악관광의 현재와 미래에 대해 설명드리겠습니다. 지금 프레젠테이션이 안 넘어가네요. 예, 현재 그리고 여러 가지 논란들 그리고 미래에 대해서 말씀드리겠습니다. 예, 우선 한국 산악관광의 현재입니다. 예, 한국의 인구는 뭐 다 아시듯이 5,100만이고요. 우리나라의 면적은 약 10만 제곱킬로미터죠. 중요한 것은 약 3분의 2가 산지로 구성되어 있고 이 산지 중에 거의 80% 가까이가 보존 임지, 그러니까 보호를 위한 임지입니다. 따라서 전 국토의 한 반 정도가 개발을 할 수 없는 산악 지형이라고 보시면 되겠습니다. 예, 한국에는 지금 현재 19개의 스키장이 있는데요. 19개 중에 3개가 지금 휴장 중입니다. 따라서 16개가 영업 중이고요. 이 가운데 현재 영업 중인 그 13개가 그러니까 경기도와 강원도, 그러니까 중부지방에 위치하고 있습니다. 예, 그 스키장의 위치도입니다. 보시듯이 일부 남부지방의 3개를 제외하고는 대부분의 그 스키장들이 중부지방에 위치하고 있다는 걸 알 수가 있습니다. 아까도 좀 잠깐 설명드렸는데요. 이게 최근의 수치를 조금 더한 겁니다. 90년대 말부터 2008년까지는 10% 이상의 그 급증세를 보였습니다. 하지만은 2008년부터 경제 위기 2008년부터 2012년까지는 미미한 증가 내지 정체를 보였고요. 2012년 이후에 급격하게 스키 그 이용이 감소를 했습니다. 따라서 2012년에 비해서 2015년의 경우에는 약 25%까지 급격하게 감소를 했습니다. 한국의 그 대표적인 4개의 스키장입니다. 대명 비발디, 그리고 용평, 피닉스파크, 강원랜드 이렇게 4군데가 지금 약 그 한국 전체 스키 이용객의 한 45% 정도를 차지하고 있는 실정입니다. 지금 그 한국에는 외국인 관광객들도 오고 있는데요. 주로 동남아에서들 많이 오고 있죠. 예, 아직은 그 아주 큰 비중은 아니고요. 2012년의 경우에 약 40만 정도가 차증으로 나와 있습니다. 예, 한국인의 경우에는 스키장을 선택을 할 때 가장 민감한 건 역시 가격이고요. 그리고 접근성, 시설을 주로 보고 있고 스키 슬로프의 어떤 수라든지 또는 설질, 눈의 질에 대해서는 약간의 신경을 쓰고 있는 그런 실정입니다. 이거는 이제 설문조사의 결과입니다. 뭐 100% 정확하다고 얘기할 수는 없는데요. 10만 원에서 15만 원대가 가장 많이 차지를 하고 있고요. 아무래도 젊은이들이 많이 스키장을 이용하다 보니까 10만 원 미만도 많고 그리고 10만 원 후반대가 일부 있습니다. 그리고 스키 리프트 같은 경우에는 물론 전일권, 하루 종일이라든지 또는 오후권도 많지만은 특이한 것은 이브닝이나 또는 심야권도 제법 있는 실정입니다. 예, 스키 리조트 비즈니스에 대한 전반적인 사항인데 2013년 자료입니다. 여기 지금 유로로 따지면은 약 한 7억 유로 정도의 규모, 그러니까 한국 돈으로는 약 9천억 가까이 정도 비즈니스고요. 그리고 스키에 종사하는 그런 산업 종사자는 약 8천 명 정도 나와 있습니다. 예, 한국 그 스키 리조트의 특징입니다. 예, 무엇보다도 그 12월부터 한 2월 정도로 시즌이 짧고요. 여기에는 한국의 그 지금 기온이 높아진다든지 눈이 많이 안 온다든지 또는 전반적으로 고도가 높지 않은 이런 특징이 있고요. 그리고 일본하고 마찬가지로 그 당일이나 1박 정도의 그 짧은 그런 체제형으로 되어 있습니다. 그리고 다른 어느 나라보다도 워터파크 등 많은 그런 부대 시설을 갖고 있습니다. 최근에 그 스키 인구가 급격하게 좀 감소한 원인을 말씀드리면은요, 먼저 그 경기 침체를 들 수가 있고요. 그리고 고령화, 그리고 무엇보다도 한국의 경우에는 뭐 게임이라든지 영화 또는 그 해외여행처럼 이런 그 취미 활동들이 급격하게 지금 좀 변화하고 있는 이런 추세를 들 수가 있겠습니다. 이러한 그 감소세에 대비해서 현재 스키리조트 회사들은 주로 그 스키리프트에 대한 할인을 많이 하고 있고, 특히 카드사 또는 이제 소셜 커머스를 많이 이용해서 할인 판매를 하고 있습니다. 그리고 두 번째는 부대 시설을 많이 강화하고 있죠. 대부분의 스키리조트들이 워터파크들을 이미 건설을 했고요. 그리고 등산을 위한 그런 산책로라든지 또는 모험놀이 시설 등을 설치를 하고 있습니다. 다른 재미있는 그 산악 관광된 곳을 말씀드리면은요, 한국은 어느 나라보다도 등산을 좋아합니다. 약 1,500만 명 정도가 그 등산을 즐긴다고 얘기하고 있고, 이거는 한국 전체 인구의 약 30%에 해당이 됩니다. 예, 이러한 그 등산은 최근에는 이제 그 트레킹 붐, 그러니까 걷기로 좀 변했는데요. 특히 여기에는 2007년도에 제주도 올레길이 크게 이런 기폭제 역할을 했고, 그 이후에는 지리산이라든지 북한산에도 계속 둘레길이 지금 생기고 있습니다. 그리고 2013년 자료에 보면은 한국 내에는 약 600개의 길에 약 17,000km의 그 걷기 길이 있다라고 얘기를 하고 있습니다. 또 우리가 그 산을 얘기할 때는 또 캠핑을 얘기할 수 없는데요. 최근에 엄청나게 캠핑 붐이 불었죠. 약 300만 명 정도가 이렇게 즐기고 있다라고 얘기하고요. 특히 캠핑 같은 경우에는 뭐 캐러반이라든지 글램핑을 제외하고 원래 한국에서는 산악에서 대피소 제외하고는 숙박을 할 수가 없는데, 그러니까 몰래 하는 캠핑, 스텔스 캠핑, 그러니까 비박이 최근에 많이 유행을 하고 있습니다. 예, 한국 산악 관광의 몇 가지 문제점을 말씀드리겠습니다. 무엇보다도 한국의 그 산악 관련된 취미 활동은 오로지 정상으로 가는 이런 그 하이킹 문화를 갖고 있습니다. 어떤 활동보다는 오히려 그냥 뭐 산을 가는 것 그 자체를 즐긴다고 보시면 될 테고요. 두 번째는 인프라의 부족입니다. 한국 전체의 그 관광용, 그러니까 스키리프트 말고 관광용 지금 케이블카는 불과 21개소에 불과합니다. 이러한 수치는 스위스의 670개하고 굉장히 대비가 되는 것 같습니다. 그리고 세 번째는 산악 관광에 대한 인식 부족입니다. 아직까지는 뭐 산악 관광이 크게 그 경기라든지 어떤 그 인바우드 관광에 도움이 되게 이런 그 아직까지도 그런 견해가 많이 남아 있는 것 같습니다. 이러한 그 산악 관광에 대한 그 좀 인식이 낮다라는 거는 스위스하고 한번 비교를 할 수가 있는데요. 이거는 이제 신문에서 나온 자료인데, 스위스 같은 경우에 1박을 할 경우에 약 한 52만 원 정도의 비용이 드는 반면에 한국의 경우에는 숙박을 쉘터, 대피소에서 해야 되고, 그 다음에 레스토랑도 없기 때문에 이제 그냥 대피소에 있는 그 매점을 이용해야 되죠. 그래서 약 3만 원 정도밖에 안 들기 때문에 스위스 어떤 산악 휴양에 비해서 한 15분의 1 정도밖에는 비용이 들지가 않습니다. 물론 엄청난 그런 불편을 감수해야 되는 거죠. 자, 그러면은 한국에서 지금 산악 관광에 둘러싼 그 논란에 대해서 말씀드리겠습니다. 예, 무엇보다도 지금 문화체육관광부에서 산악 관광 진흥 지역에 대한 그 법률을 입법 예고했죠. 물론 이 법률은 경기 진작이라든지 또는 인바운드 활성화를 목표로 하고 있습니다. 또한 최근에 설악산에 있는 오색 케이블카를 조건부 승인을 했습니다. 오색부터 끝청까지의 케이블카를 설치하는 건데요. 아까 말씀드린 지금 한국엔 21개의 케이블카가 있는데 지금 아주 많은 지자체들이 앞다퉈서 지금 약 30개 정도가 서로 지금 설치하겠다라고 지금 하고 있습니다. 예, 이러한 논란의 가장 핵심은 환경 보호가 우선이냐 또는 합리적 개발을 해야 되느냐, 이 두 가지로 압축될 수가 있겠습니다. 환경론자들은 한 번 망치면 돌이킬 수 없다라는 그런 입장들이고요. 그 다음에 개발론자들은 아주 부분적으로 개발을 하게 되면 대부분의 그런 어떤 황폐화 또는 자연 망치는 걸 이제 방지할 수 있다는 이런 이제 논리를 펴고 있습니다. 이러한 지금 산악 관광을 진흥시키려는 이면에는 아무래도 아까 말씀드렸듯이 전 국토의 한 반 정도가 개발할 수 없는 산지라는 그런 이제 기본이 깔려 있고요. 그리고 최근에 보면은 아웃바운드나 인바운드는 늘어나고 있는데 현재 국내 내국인에 의한 국내 관광은 지금 한 2~3%로 이렇게 늘어나지 않고 있는 이런 정체의 상황을 이제 좀 타개하려고 하고요. 특히 한국 전체에 지금 경기가 침체되고 있기 때문에 산악 관광을 통해서 이러한 경기 진작에 도움을 주려고 하고 있습니다. 미래에 대해서 말씀드리겠습니다. 무엇보다도 지금 한국에서도 건강이라든지 또는 자연으로 돌아가려는 그런 이제 아웃도어 레크레이션에 대한 증가세가 급격하고요. 이런 증가세는 자전거 같은 경우에 2008년에는 불과 180만 대가 팔렸지만 2012년 경우에는 250만 대가 팔렸다서도 알 수가 있습니다. 또한 레저의 장소로서도 그러니까 산에 대한 가장 선호도가 높고요. 그 다음에가 이제 집 근처에 있는 근린공원, 가까운 공원을 선호하고 있습니다. 그리고 최근에는 이러한 하이킹이 히말라야나 알프스까지도 가는 그런 하이킹으로 발전을 하고 있습니다. 무엇보다도 우리가 미래를 낙관할 수 있는 것은 이제 몇 년 후 다가온 평창 올림픽이 있겠죠. 지금 이제 KTX를 강릉까지 지금 깔고 있는데요. 원래 목표는 66분이었는데 제가 최근에 확인해 본 바로는 1시간 반 정도로 조정을 한 것 같습니다. 아무튼 이 KTX가 깔려지면은 우리가 알고 있는 대부분의 스키장들이 철도역에서 불과 한 10분 정도면 접근할 수 있을 정도 굉장히 접근성이 좋아진다라고 얘기할 수가 있습니다. 그리고 이러한 KTX는 바로 인천에서부터 용산 청량리를 통해서 강릉까지 연결이 될 것입니다. 이 사진을 보시면은 이제 강릉까지 가는 KTX 라인하고 얼마나 스키장들이 가까운 곳에 위치해 있는지를 보여주고 있습니다. 산악 관광화 활성화를 위해서 이제 몇 가지만 말씀드리면은요. 무엇보다도 평창 올림픽이라는 기회를 잘 활용을 해야 될 것 같고요. 그리고 일본의 경우처럼 어린이들한테 요금을 적게 받는다든지 또는 노인분들을 좀 우대함으로써 마켓을 확대해야 되겠습니다. 그리고 한국의 강점인 그런 이제 산악 휴양 또는 의료 관광하고 접목시키는 그러한 융합 관광을 들 수가 있겠습니다. 무엇보다도 중요한 것은 한국에서는 환경 보호에 대한 그런 주장이 굉장히 강하기 때문에 서스테이너블 투어리즘 디벨롭먼트, 그러니까 지속 가능한 관광 개발을 통해서 산악 관광이 자연을 황폐화시키는 것만은 아니다라는 그런 나쁜 이미지를 주지 않도록 노력하는 것이 무엇보다도 중요하다고 하겠습니다. 감사합니다. Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I will not put your question. The overview was really good, and we know where we are now exactly. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, because of the delay, we will not have any more discussions. I will not end with my conclusions, and I got the advice from our distinguished director that we will continue. I will first of all thank all the speakers, like this we do here around. And we will now continue, and we will have no coffee break, but you can go out during the session to take your coffee and come back with the coffee or stay a little away. But we will continue with the next panel, session 2, right on now. Thank you very much for your patience.